Hi. Howdy. Hola. Bonjour. Guys, welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. This is our weekly recap of the Braxtons. If you missed it, we already recapped the first three episodes. The first three episodes of this, what I've said to be a love letter to their late sister, Traci Braxton. Well, it was a love letter the first couple of episodes. Episode 4... If you don't follow me on TikTok, I posted a quick, maybe like 3-4 minute video just giving you my initial reactions to Friday's episode of the Braxtons. And a lot of you have strong opinions, so I'm going to unpack this. Please understand, we welcome all opinions here. But if you're coming at people like you're wrong and you're attacking people, this is not the place for that. You will be blocked. So we don't play those games over here. Okay, we don't moderate adults. It's okay to disagree, but no fighting. All right? And definitely no fighting with me, because I said what I said and I'm going to stand on it. Look. Because a lot of y'all already tussling with me in the comment section on Instagram and on TikTok. I'm not fighting with y'all. I said what I said. I've given grace to everyone. I've given grace to the sisters when y'all weren't giving them grace. And I told y'all need to give them grace. They lost someone. So y'all better give Kevin Sr. some grace this episode too. All right. Let's get into our Braxtons recap, y'all.
Here we go now.
You guys get the behind. Oh, hey, you almost caught me. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. We talked a lot about divorce in the last couple of days, so if you missed it, go check out some of the updates. There were a lot of divorces happening in the pop culture world, so be sure to check that out. And of course, if you're new to the channel, we don't just talk about housewives, we don't just talk about reality television, we talk about everything in pop culture, and you can also hear us on the Kempire podcast. So be sure to subscribe today on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. While you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating, because rating a podcast, very much like liking this video, is very important for us to continue to build our community. So be sure to like, follow, and share. Sidebar. Shout out to all the Virgos. The Virgos are going hard with their cameo requests, because you guys want your birthday request, so you want on record me saying something nice to a Virgo. I always say nice things to Virgos, okay? But don't forget, you can book me on Cameo, but don't book me yet, okay? I'm going to set up a discount for Labor Day. I just need someone, Mama Allie, welcome back, Mama Allie. I saw you in the comment section. Welcome back, Mama. Everyone send love to Mama Allie, all right? Mama Allie or Foxy, remind me right after the live, or Judy, remind me, or Sister on the Moon, remind me right after the live to set up the discount code for Cameo, so I don't forget. And I'm going to set up a discount code for our merch store for Labor Day. Look, I got to do all this stuff. Anyways, shout out to all the Virgos. Happy Virgo season, okay? Hey, Auntie Eva, thank you so much for the love on the intro. I did go back to the old intro because a lot of you complained when I was on tour, and you were like, I'll bring back the old intro. I just haven't updated. I moved. Okay. So I just haven't updated this particular one. Okay. We will go back, but I still want to throw that old one, that old new one into place. Okay. All right. Anyways. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is our weekly recap of the Braxtons. How would you guys rate this week's episode? Are you still watching? Some of you, after I did my video last night, said this is why I'm not watching, because of how this next part of the story is going. All right. So we were talking about the sisters and their grief. Now we're talking about Kevin Jr. and him being placed as the executor of Traci's estate, and the divisive situation that's happening between Kevin Jr., the sisters, and Kevin Jr.'s father. All right. Rita, thank you so much for that. Rita, you're always supporting, all the way from Germany. I can't wait to come back to Germany. Rita gifted 5 memberships to our live chat. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And be sure to thank Rita in the live chat for those that are here and that were gifted. All right. Where do I even begin? I'm gonna ease my way into this because this is such a heavy topic. So I do want to ease myself into what we are going to discuss heavily in this episode. So we'll first start off with Trina and Tawanda and their significant others arriving in DC. Here's the thing. So, you know, I love the little antics and the fun moments with the Braxton sisters. I'm looking at Trina a little differently. And hear me out. I feel like Trina's growth, her maturity, is a little stunted. A lot of these little antics, and I know siblings have these little fun antic moments from when they were kids, but Trina, even the way she carries herself, it's like she's stunted. Like she's stuck in one period of her life, which makes me wonder what may have happened at that period in her life. Here comes the psychology degree coming out. I'm like, what happened? Like, she's always doing these, like, very childlike things, giving certain different names, like little kitty names to certain things, and then playing these little kitty games that they played as they were kids. Anyways, it's something that stood out to me, and I was just like, look, do I need to go back and get my master's in psychology so I can start diagnosing? No, I'm not going back to school. Shut up. Leave me alone. No, I'm over it. Over it. I'm going to get my master's degree from studying reality television. Okay? All right. I found it weird. They got this big, beautiful house that they were going to share with the couples. And then eventually Tawanda and Sean decided they're going to get a hotel room because they don't want to they don't want to see Vaughn walking around naked. I'm thinking to myself, you have this big, beautiful house. You should be able to share it for a couple of days. But fine. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was weird. All right. Vaughn lost his ring. You know, Vaughn was a big hot topic last week. All right. We talked a lot about Vaughn and the recap that he and Trina did last week. Y'all are still reacting to that. That Vaughn situation got me like, look. That's interesting. That's like their relationship dynamic is interesting. And it's important for us to remind you of that relationship dynamic from last week to them talking about Traci and all of you talking about Traci's relationship with Kevin Sr. Because some people can't talk about other people's relationship when your relationship over here looking toxic as hell. Just saying. Okay. Niche on my TikTok says that Vaughn is Trina's father figure. Shaking my head. Well, Vaughn lost his ring, and apparently he lost it in this calendar year. So God only knows how long that ring has been missing. Are you guys worried about that? I don't worry about stuff like that. I don't think that's a big deal. But, you know, based off last week's episode, I kind of think it's a big deal, at least when it comes to them. When it comes to Trina and Vaughn's relationship. So he walking around with no ring. But here's the thing, for those that don't even realize this. Your man could cheat on you with or without a ring. Your girl could cheat on you with or without a ring. I always say women are the best cheaters. And when I say the best cheaters, like they get away with it. Those are the ones you need to watch out for. Men are stupid. And I say that as a man. Okay? Anyways, how do we get on this? Oh, Vaughn lost his ring. All right. I was giving grace to Tawanda and this scratchy nickname. I was giving her grace with this scratchy nickname. But everybody and their mama, her kids, now Vaughn is like, who's scratchy?
Lies! The lie!
Tawanda, I am looking at you with a major side eye. Who in the hell is Scratchy? You know, we know who Scratchy is because we've learned in this last season who Scratchy is. Scratchy is Kevin Jr. But everybody seems to not know this nickname that you had for Kevin Jr. It's giving, trying to make it seem like you're closer with him than people actually know or believe. I thought that was remember last week I gave her grace. I was like, oh, maybe the kids don't know. But now Vaughn is like, who's Scratchy? He's like, oh, I never knew that. See, but Vaughn will be honest, okay? He's like, I never knew that. Vaughn's been in the family for how long? Those kids, Tawanda's own kids, they're like, who's Scratchy? Who is Scratchy? Will the real Scratchy please stand up? It's giving suspicious. Okay? It's giving not very mindful. It's giving not very demure. I know we are sick of that, aren't we? Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm pointing things out to you that stood out to me in this episode. Vaughn's like, who's Scratchy? I never heard of that before. He literally says that. I never heard that before. Vaughn's been in the family a long time. I know he's Johnny come lately, but he's been in the family for a few years at this point. At some point, Tawanda would have talked about Kevin Jr. instead Scratchy. Now, all of a sudden, for the cameras, you want to call him Scratchy? Her own kids were like, who's Scratchy? I gave her grace last week, y'all, but this week, I'm not giving her grace. I'm not giving her grace. Who is, look, it is Sunday. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Oh, wait, some people don't like when I use the sound effects. Get out of here, then. No. No, okay. Oh, okay. All right, Nita's bringing some of the proof. Nita says there's a clip floating around from Braxton Family Values with her calling him Scratchy. Well, you bring me the clip. Because everybody named Mama, even her kids, are like, who's Scratchy? So it's giving a little suspicious. You tweet me the clip, and then I will believe it. I gave her grace last week, but then Bond said, he was like, I never heard that. I was like, oh, okay. That's suspicious. That's weird. All right, we're gonna move on. We've spent way too much time on this. All right. So Tony is still in LA. All right. Tony Braxton, for those that don't know what we're talking about, the Braxtons. Tony calls Trina. All right. All right. Calls Trina, and she's like, getting caught up on everything because Trina and Tawanda are in DC and they want to check up on Scratchy. I'm calling him Kevin Jr. I'm not calling him Scratchy till we figure out for sure that's really his nickname. Okay? She's the only one that calls him that. All right. Anyways. Wait, M-Easy on TikTok says, Tawanda been a bad actor since her days on Starting Over. She's so lame to me. Oh, I remember Starting Over, that reality show? Ayanna was a part of it. All right. So Tony calls Trina to get an update on everything, all right? So Tony says that she asked Trina, are you guys going to speak with Kevin Sr., Traci's husband? And Trina already is like, nope. She's like, I can't talk to Kevin Sr. right now. Not in the state that I'm in. Well, Tony explains and reminds the audience, for those that didn't know, because some people didn't know, that there was a little bit of a rift after Traci passed between Kevin Sr. excuse me, and the sisters. And it was over the idea on whether or not to have a funeral. According to the sisters, according to Kevin Jr., Traci, in her last days, said that she did not want to have a funeral. All right. However, Kevin Sr. said that he wanted to have a funeral. Well, he wanted to have a celebration of life because there is a difference. You know, some people say it's a funeral. It's the same thing. What he threw, from what I can recall, was a celebration of Traci's life that was put on the internet. During that time, it came out the sisters didn't want that. There was a big rift between Kevin Sr. and the sisters because he wanted to do this and they did not want to do that because they said that Traci did not want a funeral. She said it. All right. Kevin Jr. confirmed that that's what she said. All right. I want to get back to that because I have a lot more to say on that. But Tony, in this moment, is saying we should have a conversation. I know right now you're not in the space, Trina, to talk about this, but let's table it and as a family have a conversation later to possibly have a conversation with Kevin Sr. I thought that was pretty big of Tony to say, like, I think we should have a conversation with him. I mean, she is the oldest. And again, I already told you at the top of this that I feel like some of Trina's maturity is stunted. So keep that in mind when her reaction seems a little immature. But a lot of you might agree with her. This is what Traci wanted. I don't want to talk to him. He went against what Traci wanted. Some of you feel that way. Follow me. We're going to get there. I'm going to take my time. All right? All right. So speaking of Trina being stunted in her growth, even when she was like, I don't know. What did she say? I can't remember the phrase that she said. Something about Tony and Tony's parts. And I was like, yes, it's fun for reality television, but for me in watching this episode, I kept on saying to myself, oh, Trina, like I like these parts of Trina, but I'm seeing Trina like, wow, her growth is stunted. She talks this way, she acts this way because of her immaturity. And there might be a reason. There might be an actual reason. Maybe something happened at a particular age which has stunted her growth and why she handles and talks the way that she does. Okay, but Trina is not here for it, but Tony and Trina agreed to disagree and that they will revisit the conversation of speaking with Kevin Sr. at another time. All right. And we will get back to whether or not they should have had this celebration of life or not. And you guys will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts. Okay. But if you remember, I've already dropped the call-in link for senior royals, and I'm going to drop the call-in link for royal court members in just a second. We're not taking callers yet because I want to get through everything that happened in this week's episode of the Braxtons. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts. But again, as always, we don't moderate adults, so don't attack people for their opinions. All right? Share your opinion and then move on. Okay. All right. So we then get this scene with Trina and Tawanda and their partners going racing. I don't know what that go-kart racing. And Trina, she's going slow. Tawanda says her foot must be allergic to the gas pedal. So Sean Tawanda's boyfriend wins, and Vaughn comes in second, and Tawanda came in third. All right. Trina's explanation, she was like, well, my insurance is going to remain low because, you know, I guess she wanted to have a funny moment, basically saying that the insurance people are watching and the fact that they're speed racers, their insurance is going to be high. It was cute. It was funny. Ha, ha, ha. All right, so they sit down to have a meal, and this is where the conversation, Trina brings up, so Sean, when are you going to propose to Tawanda? Because 4 years ago, you asked my father for her hand in marriage. 4 years later, there is no engagement, there is no plan. Tawanda says in her confessional, I am not going to pressure a man to propose to me. I agree with her. We've seen this on reality television. We've talked about this before. I personally would not want to pressure someone to propose to me, because then I'm like, I pressured you. Like, for me, it would always feel wrong. For me, I get it. Some of y'all don't care. You're like, he's my man. Fine. But I agree with Tawanda. But Trina, even Vaughn's just like, you asked Mr. Braxton 4 years ago for her hand in marriage, yet there's nothing that's happened. And he really has no explanation for it. And I wonder what Tawanda really feels. Like, Tawanda doesn't want to pressure him, but does she want to get engaged? She didn't say that she didn't. All right? She didn't. So I was like, oh, okay. All right, fine. Look fine. But I think she wants to get engaged. But they actually seem to have a lovely partnership, Tawanda and Sean. I liked seeing their interaction. I can't remember everything from yesteryear on Braxton Family Values because that's 4 years ago. But based on what we saw in this episode, I was like, I like their relationship. Their relationship seems healthy and happy. Fine. If you both don't want marriage, I'm all for it. But he did make a to-do about asking for her hand in marriage to her father. Later on in the episode, when we get the family dinner, Mr. Braxton says to him, so you asked for her hand in marriage a few years ago, so what's going on with that? I mean, shout out to Mr. Braxton for that, because maybe his daughter doesn't want to ask. That's what a father should do. I think that's what I would do. Even like an uncle, if that, like one of my nieces were in the situation and someone was to ask me I would have been like, so what's going on with that? What are your intentions? It's 4 years later. Just saying, because I know sometimes people like Tawanda are not going to want to pressure that person. I want to know what your intentions are. Like, what's going on? I mean, he does tell Mr. Braxton that he's planning something. Like, you know, that is the intention. He's like, you'll be the first to know. He's like, I don't need to be the first to know. Tawanda needs to be the first to know. I can be the second. I agree. We'll get back to that. All right. Tamar on our friends over at the We Sound Crazy podcast. You remember this interview. If you don't remember this interview, you remember this is the interview that Tamar did, where she made that shady remark about Black people in country music. She shaded. She didn't say K. Michelle, but it ended up being a new beef between K. Michelle and Tamar. We reported on it. Just Google schmoogle K. Michelle, Tamar, KEMPIRE. The reports on that feud from this interview will come up. All right. So We Sound Crazy podcast. Shout out to them. Those are my friends. I enjoy their interviews. So Tamar sits down for their 100th episode because she did their podcast in the early days when, you know, no one really knew who the podcast was. It's definitely grown tremendously since then. So she updates them on what she's been working on. She says she's working on her album. This particular episode was really just Tamar talking about what she's working on. Tamar's a producer. She's a separate producer from her sisters on this. So all her scenes are going to be this, okay? Promoting whatever she's got coming up. She's got a new album coming up. She's got candles, we find out. She talked about why she loves her intentional candles. We're going to get a woke Tamar in this season of the Braxtons. Fine. She says, you know, this is who she really is. Okay, Tamar. We'll pretend together. This is who Tamar really is. Look. Okay. Exactly, Nita. She says, I'm just glad it wasn't Carlos' podcast. I mean, the season's not over. She did do Carlos's podcast. I think it will be featured on this season. I feel like we saw that, like a clip. Maybe or maybe not. But yeah, so don't speak too soon. Look, don't speak too soon. I think we might end up seeing it. But we shall see. So she talked about that. She also talks about her mental health journey and things like that. And she talked about why she decided to come back to doing the reality show. They asked her, you know, why did you decide? You know, the cameras are here filming for the Braxtons. Why did you decide to come back to do this? And I don't know. It feels like, and look, I'm not saying that sisters are innocent, but, you know, we've covered Tamar a lot. We've given Tamar a lot of grace at a particular point, and then she proves us wrong, even recently. And she makes it seem like her family's toxic, her sisters are toxic, and she's the innocent one. Okay, fine. Maybe she is. I'm not saying that it's all Tamar's fault, but I don't think Tamar's that innocent either. All right? So she says the reason why she decided to do the show was because it was something that Traci wanted. Then her mom also asked her to do it. She confirmed that she was the last person to join for this season. I think she said it on Carlos's podcast that she really is sort of like a friend of this season. Okay, all right. What else did she talk about? Oh, she says that she's easily triggered by the show. She says she's easily triggered by her sisters and her family. And she says that they have a therapist on set because of that. So Phil Thornton, who's worked in the reality TV space and music industry for a very long time, she says that he's been an intricate part of her career. And he explains, like, on certain sets, they'll have therapists available depending on who's on set. So Tamar lets us know, because of the things that she went through. Remember when she was blasting Weed TV and what they did to her? Now she has a therapist on set. All right. Funky says she might be in therapy, but she doesn't listen to her therapist. For those that are in therapy, do you always listen to your therapist? Just saying. Okay. All right. Moving on. The Queen Vanessa, if you can't hear me, go to another platform or switch out and come back. Well, you can't even hear this, so I'm sorry. Everyone else can hear me on TikTok, right? All right, good. All right. Thank you so much, RMP. There we go. I didn't think that would be such a hard initials to say, but okay. Thanks, Judy. I feel like Queen, you come in here and you say that all the time. Jazzy says that she's triggered by her bad decisions that follow her. Ooh, well, that was a read. That was a read. Guys, we have over 700 people on YouTube alone. Shout out to those of you that are watching on Facebook as well. Can we get to 200 likes? Liking the video is an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels that are talking about similar topics like the Braxtons. But we don't just talk about reality television here. We talk about everything in pop culture. So be sure to subscribe. All right. Also, shout out to our friends over at Rose Forever. They're sponsoring our live recap today. Look, I'm sure you know someone that just moved. I know you probably know someone that needs a little light in their life, or maybe you know a Virgo that needs a birthday present. Rose Forever has roses that will last you at least a year. They have candles now. They have hydrangeas. I love my Rose Forever. They're all throughout my apartment. They were all throughout my house, as you will recall. We've been partnering with them for a long time. I love their roses. They actually do last, and they are affordable. A referral link is available in the description, okay? And they do ship worldwide. All right. Thank you, Ashley, so much for the super chat. Ashley says they bash Kev, and then have an issue when he responds. Ooh, Ashley, we're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. I'm trying to ease my way into that conversation. All right. Let me move on. So we get that scene with Tamar, talking about her new album, talking about her therapy journey, which I love. At the same time, I love that we're talking about therapy, especially within the Black community. But at the same time, it's the person talking about it. Have we seen Tamar grow and change? I don't know. Look, as someone that reports on all the Tamar mess, I'm like, I don't know. Okay. All right. Let's move on. The family dinner. So the family in DC, Tawanda, Trina, her brother Michael is there, his kids. We even have Mr. Braxton there, and we have Kevin Jr. there. So they're all catching up. As I mentioned before, Mr. Braxton confronts Sean, Tawanda's boyfriend, about, you asked me 4 years ago that you wanted her hand in marriage, but we don't see an engagement. So what's going on with that? So according to Sean, he is working on something. Tawanda ended up leaving. I can respect that Tawanda gives her man space in regards to that. And she says, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to pressure him into doing that. I mean, if it's not important to her, fine. For some people, it's important. They seem to be happy the way that they are. I'm happy for them. If Tawanda says, I want to get engaged, like Dolores from Real Housewives of New Jersey, I know she's not saying that now, but she did say that before. If she's fine with the situation the way it is, I understand. Remember, she stayed in that other marriage when we first were introduced to them. She was in that marriage for a long time, and they weren't even happy. I remember that. That was years ago, but I remember she stayed with that man way past the expiration date. Way past the expiration date, if I recall correctly. And you guys will remind me in the live chat, because some of you guys have better elephant brains than I do. All right. So the family gets together. Of course, they start talking about Traci. Did you guys pay attention to Mikey Jr.'s son? His reaction when they start talking about Traci. You know, I'm always paying attention to everything going on in the scene, not necessarily what they want us to see. You can see him get really emotional. Because remember, there's a sector of the family that stayed in the DMV in Baltimore. I know it's not the DMV, but you know what I'm saying. All right, that stayed in Baltimore. So I can only imagine that Traci and Michael were probably a lot closer. The families probably did a lot more things together. So I'm paying attention to Michael Jr.'s son. I'm like, oh, he's getting really emotional. And you can see the closeness between Mikey Jr.'s son and Kevin Jr. So I'm paying attention to that. And I have to give it to Kevin Jr. He definitely seems a lot stronger than people are willing to give him credit. All right. So they start talking about Traci. Mr. Braxton talked about how he misses getting the messages that he would get, you know, from Traci all the time. I guess she would send him all kinds of videos and memes and things like that. So he misses. It's like those little things that people don't pay attention to that you start missing. So he talks about how much he misses that. And and again, speaking of Mikey Jr.'s son, he asked Kevin Jr., you know, what can we do for you as a family? So Kevin's just like, I don't want to always go to you guys with my problems. I only come to you when I really, really need you. And Trina and Tawanda are like, well, why can't you come to us before it gets to that level? And he's just like, I don't want to do that. I have to, you know, do certain things for me. He also talks about his father. And he says that his father basically says that it's his fault. His father blames him for Traci choosing Kevin Jr. as the executor of her estate. I know a lot of people are saying that Traci left everything to Jr. We don't know that for sure. What we do know is that she made him the executor. That doesn't mean that she left everything to Kevin Jr. She could have left certain things to Kevin Sr., but who's in charge of her estate, meaning her likeness, her image. Remember that scene with the attorney, the family attorney. You remember that, right? He brought up the likeness, the image. So Kevin Jr. has control of her estate. Doesn't mean that he has everything. The money, the things like that. And I don't remember what Kevin Sr. did for work, but it's very easy when someone's not a public figure to kind of write him off as, you know, Traci was the public figure. Traci had the name. Traci had all the money. But remember, Traci, before the reality show, wasn't a public figure. I mean, people knew who she was, but she wasn't a star. So who was supporting them then? I'm assuming Kevin Sr. I'm just saying, I want to point that out. All right. I just want to point out some of those details, but I don't find it unusual because I'm sure there are other scenarios where a mother, if they have a child, leaves their child as the executor and not their partner, their husband, or whatever it may be. And that causes an issue with the partner and the child. Oh, Funky says he works for the federal government, which is usual for those that live in the DMV. Usually you got government clearance and you're working for the government. All right. Sweet Pea says, he's a teacher. Okay, I'm going to need us to know. That's what working for the government and being a teacher are two different things. Well, not necessarily, but okay. Either way, he's employed. All right? Okay. Nita says, dang, I forget what he does. He works, though. Yeah, I mean, you had to. You had to. Oh, hold on. Wendy says, I love that you guys have the best memory in the world. They said, you guys remember Traci and Kevin Sr. Were on marriage boot camp. Maybe she changed things up then because they were heading for a divorce. Very possible. Very possible. But based on what Kevin Jr. says, that Traci told him way before her cancer diagnosis that she was leaving everything to him. But for me, I know a lot of people are making it seem like, oh, she left him out of the will. That's not what was said. She made her son the executor of her estate. Doesn't mean Kevin Sr. wasn't in the will. Again, why I think it's important to have Kevin Sr. on the show, or at least him tell his side, because you're spinning the narrative and you're running with the narrative that he was left out of the will. No, he just was not in charge of the will or her estate, meaning in control of her likeness, image, and things like that. This is why it's important to have us walk through this conversation, and that's why I was looking forward to doing this recap live. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about The Braxtons, Season 1, Episode 4. All right, and this is why I want to take my time, because I want to remember everything that I thought as watching this episode twice. I watched this episode twice. All right. Oh, okay, thank you, Riri, because I was wondering, because everyone's running with the narrative that Kevin Sr. cheated. According to Riri C, she says that on Marriage Boot Camp, Kevin Sr. admitted to cheating. Again. Okay. Oh, Gito says, she barely liked her sisters, bruh. Y'all forgetting. And that's why I find it so interesting, people's response this week. Because, the first 3 weeks, I was telling you guys, give the sisters some grace. Okay, I know Traci and her sisters had a time, and you guys hated the way that the sisters treated Traci. This week, all of a sudden, y'all team sisters. I'm like, wait a minute.
Lies, the lie.
And I'm not saying you'd be team anyone, but I find the irony ironic. All right. Anyways, let me get back to this. So Kevin Jr. says this situation with her will and her estate and him being the executor has caused a rift between him and his father. And he's just like, he's like, you're so focused on you and you're not thinking about me and what I'm going through. Okay. I don't think this is unusual for anyone that's ever lost someone before and you've seen these family dynamics shift. Things happen. But do I think that the sisters are helping mend this relationship? Because you sisters are trying to be there for Kevin Jr., but he needs his father too, who's in Baltimore, that could be there for him during these times. I don't feel like they're helping mend that relationship. If anything, I feel like they're hindering it. Again, there could be more to the story, and there always is. But we're only getting your side. And we don't know what happened between Kevin Sr. and Traci. Of course, these cheating allegations. Was there more? There could be. But we're basing this off of the show. And a little bit of the things that we know from the previous seasons and other reality TV stuff. Okay? All right. So Kevin says that his father makes it seem like it's all his fault that Traci decided to make him the executor of her estate, which has caused a rift. All right. So the sisters are sort of like, it's disgusting that he would make his son feel this way. And I'm going to give Kevin, the same way I gave the sisters grace these first 3 episodes, I'm going to give Kevin Sr. some grace here. I can imagine, and if it was them, I wonder how they would feel if their child was made the executor of their partner or their spouse's estate and they weren't chosen. Maybe they wouldn't feel a way about it. I'm not going to blame Kevin Sr. for feeling a way. Should he make Kevin Jr. feel terrible about it? No, but he's human. And I think he's having a human moment. He just lost his partner, his wife, probably his best friend. So I'm going to give him some grace. It's not right, but I'm going to give him some grace. He's human. You might feel a way if your partner did that, left it to your child and not to you. Again, I want to just say, we're not talking about leaving money. We don't know the details of the will. We don't know that Kevin Sr. was left out of the will completely. All right? Thank you guys so much. Miss T says he's hurt, especially the way that the family is treating him. I'm sure that doesn't help. And I don't feel like the sisters or the family is trying to mend that relationship. The only person, at least in this episode, that looked like it was like they were trying to mend that relationship was Tony. Tony's like, do you guys think that we should have a conversation with Kevin Sr.? Mama Allie says everybody grieves differently. Yes. And they're still in their hurt. And now they're placing this on a reality television. And all of you and your traumas, look, I'm talking about the general audience, not just us. everybody and their traumas and their past issues, they're placing it on this family too. That's not helping the situation. Now all of a sudden people are saying Kevin Sr.'s a cheater, pumpkin eater. He was terrible, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take my time with this because there's a lot that I want to say. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Those of you that are watching on TikTok, can we get to 15,000 likes? Keep tapping your screens. Those of you that are on YouTube, can we get to 300 likes? Those of you watching on Facebook, can we get to more likes? Just like the video if you haven't already. Let me take a sip from my coldest water bottle. Get your coldest water bottle. It keeps your water cold for 36 plus hours. Yes, but they don't just have water bottles. They have things for your pets. They have sheets, all kinds of stuff. Head on over to coldest.com, but don't forget to use the discount code KEMPIRE10 for 10% off. I shouldn't be drinking this much water because I already feel like I need to go to... I might need to take a break before we get to the callers, but it's okay. Well, I like this name. FL Cool J says, it's all about legacy, not love. Oof. Nita says, I think there's some manipulation going on with those sisters and all of a sudden this rift between him and his dad. Nita, I sense that a little bit as well. But again, if you've been in any family drama, if you think about your family dynamics, this stuff happens. I feel like the sisters aren't helping, even if there isn't manipulation. Direct manipulation, intentional manipulation, I do believe that they're not helping mend that relationship. I really don't believe that they're helping, especially with this reality show. But I have a theory. All right? I'm going to get to that theory in a second. Tamar is at the gym with her assistant, her 21-year-old assistant. These are the moments where I can appreciate Tamar. Her joking about the assistant, windmilling the punching bag. I was like, this was a cute, funny scene. Tamar, where are your friends, though? Tamar's always surrounded by gay men, which is fine. But I'm like, where are your real friends? Like, how come we're not seeing your real life? All right? But it's okay. It's fine. I appreciated this scene. She says she's an LA girl, so she's always working out. She's like, I'm fat. And we look at Tamar, you're not fat. Okay? But fine. You feel the way you feel. All right? So she's getting back into her workout routine. We're getting a scene from Tamar. Let's move on. But no, okay. So in this scene, she does talk. She sits down with her 21-year-old assistant. Thank you so much for the crown on TikTok. She sits down and she has a conversation with her assistant. So they're updating on her schedule. She has this new album coming out. She has this book coming out. All right, Tamar, we get it. This episode is about promoting your new album and now your book and your candles. Fine. I mean, look, this is the side of Tamar she wants to share, okay? But what we do find out in regards to the book, and we see for next week's episode, Vince is still very much in her life. Obviously, they have a kid together, but they're on good terms. They were together a long time before reality television. Like, she had a good relationship with Vince. I don't know. Do you think reality television is what broke them up? Her success broke them up? I mean, he was quite successful. I mean, he's still quite successful, Vince. I mean, he's had some money issues recently, but even before that, like, they lived a good life. Tamar was not hurting before reality television. Like, they lived a good life. He discovered Lady Gaga. He's been a part of some major artists' careers. All right. Niche says that he hit her. Do y'all remember? I forgot about that. Because do we know for sure? I know Mama Evelyn was the one who sort of came out with that. Not me remembering stuff. Didn't she allude to that? But they have to co-parent. So she says in the book, she's going to talk about her relationship with Vince, why they're not together, why she decided to return to reality television. So we will see in the book. Thick says abuse broke them up. I guess we have to read the book to find out. When's the book coming out, Tamar? Inquiring minds want to know. All right, let's get to this scene that made me so uncomfortable. For those that are just joining us, we're talking about the Braxtons and their latest episode of their new reality television show. Hold on, I forgot to put my little don't forget to like the video. Okay? Oh, and don't forget to thank our amazing mods. Okay? Hey mods, how you doing? Okay. There we go. All right. All right. So we have this scene, and I have to point out something. They never refer to this attorney as Traci's attorney. They said this attorney is the Braxton's family attorney. They've utilized him as the family attorney over the years. So I don't know if he's officially Traci's attorney. I just want to point that out based off of what we watched on the show. Okay? So they meet with this attorney that knew Traci very well, you know, went to see Traci while she was sick before she really, deteriorated towards the end. So I felt very uncomfortable with the scene with Trina and Kevin Jr. going to see this attorney because we know what they were doing. They wanted to support their story in saying Traci was in her right mind when she made this decision to make Junior the executor of her estate. He wanted to point that out. He said, I went to see her, and he reveals that she wanted him to record her. He thinks, he didn't say that Traci said this. He believes that Traci wanted him to record their conversations so that if it was to be challenged later, that it would be proof. He assumes that's why she wanted to do it. He didn't say that that's what she said. All right? He assumes that's why she wanted this to be done, to be recorded. Kevin Jr. says, she's always told me that I'm leaving everything to you. I'm leaving everything to you. Okay. So he knew this. So Trina's sitting there, just sort of like perched. Because we know what they're doing with the scene. They want to discredit anything that Kevin Sr. has been saying or will say in this scene. So, Nia says that Ontavius, the attorney in the scene, has been the family attorney for years. He did Tawanda and Trina's divorces. Thank you for that clarification because, again, you pointed out Tawanda and Trina's divorces. He never says in this particular conversation that he was Traci's attorney. Just want to point that out. Nelly said, I know you guys believe you know everything, but I just want to point out in this scene, based off of the show, he never says that he was her attorney. They just say he was the family attorney. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure, but maybe he was. Fine. Okay. Let me say thank you because we had a few super chats. Sassy, thank you so much for the super chat. Sassy says sisters are only for Kevin Jr. because they need his okay to include his mom's NIL. There we go. They didn't even want to attend his wedding. They weren't always team Neff. Well, okay, the fact that you're pointing this out, I want to say something because I had an aha as I was watching this. Because in this scene, the attorney says specifically, Traci wanted to make sure that when it comes to her estate, her likeness, her brand would be controlled by Kevin Jr. And then I said, light bulb moment. I said, light bulb moment. I tweeted this. You guys go to my Twitter, @TheKempire. I tweeted this. I said to myself, oh, so they would need someone's permission to show that footage of Traci while she was sick. And if they can control the nephew, then they can show Traci. I don't know if, I'm sure Traci signed off on her image to the network for Braxton Family Values, but still maybe they would have to pay her in newer episodes. I don't know. It's for a new show. Because remember, this is a new show. It's being branded as a new show. It's not being branded as Braxton Family Values. This is season 1 of the Braxtons. Attorneys, estate attorneys, feel free to chime in. Entertainment attorneys, feel free to chime in. So then I said to self, oh, wait a minute. So with Kevin Jr. being the executor of the estate, Traci made that decision. He's the one to give permission to the sisters, to the family, to WeTV, to use Traci's image in her last days. If Kevin Sr. had that control, they would need his permission. And then he would have to negotiate, well, you're going to have to pay me this much, and this much. Again, this is a new show. So they would need someone's permission to sign off on having Traci's likeness and image to be in this new show. So that stood out to me. Okay. I do want to say thank you, Global Luxury Travel, for the super chat. I don't want to speculate on what you sent in the super chat. I just feel like that is disrespectful, especially if we do not have factual information on something like that. Legally, I don't want to put anything out there like that. But thank you so much for the super chat. Ashley, thank you so much for the super chat. Another super chat. Ashley says, last season of Braxton Family Values, Traci called Tawanda a snake. Now she has Trina being stupid. Tawanda is low down, Tamar be wrong, and Tawanda too. Kevin Sr. should film. Look, no matter how you feel about Kevin Sr., I still think that he should have filmed. Even if I felt like Kevin Sr. was wrong in every possible way, I still think he should film if you want to give the full story. Right now, we're only getting your version, Tawanda and Trina. Latoya, thank you so much for the super chat. Latoya says, I'm not taking time out of my day to read Tamar's... Come on. Why are y'all this way? I'm not taking time out of my day to read... Oh, wait. Yeah. I'm time out of my day to read Tamar's book, Grandiose Ideas. I'll wait for her sisters to report on their daily IG lives. Latoya, why are you this way? But that made me giggle. What is wrong with y'all? I am not taking my time out of my day. Fine. I don't know if I will either. Okay. I don't even know if it's coming out. Like, I didn't even know she was working on a book. We waited for this to know that she's working on a book. I knew she was releasing music, like singles, but I didn't know she had an album that she was working on. I think Tamar, not her last album, the one before that, when she was on Braxton Family Values, Love and War, was such a good album. Shout out to, rest in peace, to LaShawn Daniels. It was such a great album. And I did an interview with LaShawn Daniels years ago. Such a great spirit. And he was also on Braxton Family Values. Oh, no, he was on Tamar and Vince. I don't know if he ever made an appearance on Braxton Family Values, too. Maybe as a crossover. I can't recall. All right. Anyways. Okay. Hey, Ebony. Ebony says, I feel bad for Kevin Jr. because he's in the season of a loss right now. Lost his mom and loss of his marriage. I hope he finds his way. That's why I got really uncomfortable with this scene at the attorney. Because I felt like they were weaponizing Traci's son against the father and proving their point. She didn't want to have a funeral. All right, let's talk about the funeral. I have a lot to say about the funeral because a lot of you were like, Kempire, you don't go against a person that's dying's wishes. I get that. I get why you guys feel this way. But let's be honest. Let's be real. A funeral is not for the dead. The funeral is for the people that lost the person. Because let me tell you something. When someone is dying or has died, they let go of all these material things. They don't care about those things. Literally, Traci in her last days told her sisters to stop the fighting, to get along, to come together. Miss Evelyn said it in episode 1. Oh, but they don't honor that. Oh, we need to honor her wishes. Okay, why are y'all not honoring that? And to be honest with you, if we're really honest, based on what I recall, that funeral really wasn't a funeral. It was a celebration of life. It was a celebration of life. And Kevin Sr. should be able to celebrate his wife the way that he wanted to celebrate his wife. You sisters didn't have to be a part of it. But I do believe that he has a right as her husband to want to celebrate his wife. And I think the audience wanted to celebrate Traci as well. I get Traci did not want people to see her like that. They did not want her. She said that she did not want to have a funeral. There's a difference between a funeral and a celebration of someone's life. And as I said before, we are thinking from our own traumas and our own issues and probably our family triggers and things like that. Let me tell you something. When Traci, I'm pretty sure when Traci passed on, she could care less about any humanly regrets or feelings. When people pass on, they're not thinking about that stuff. When they're in their last days, they're like, none of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. So please understand, when Traci on the other side is not thinking about that funeral or the celebration of life, she's not thinking about that. Y'all are. Look, y'all are. We're still arguing about that? How about Kevin Sr., who spent 20-something years with this woman and just lost her? He felt like he needed to do that. For her. And for himself. Maybe closure for himself. I understand the sisters, they didn't want any part of that. They wanted to honor what she wanted. Fine, you don't have to be a part of it. But now you're using this reality show to make him be the villain. That's what you're doing. And you won't even give him a platform. The producers in this last scene, we find out in this last scene that with Tawanda and Trina and their partners, we find out that production, OG, the showrunner for the show, they wanted to have a scene with Kevin Sr., Kevin Jr., and Mr. Braxton, their father. And Trina was like, no, absolutely not. So they break the fourth wall. Oh, wait, let me drop the call-in link. I'm dropping the call-in link for our Royal Court members next. Senior members, I've already dropped the call-in link for you guys. Team Kempire members, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you in just a second. Okay? Live chat, once we get to, how many people we got in the building? Once we get to 400 likes, I'll drop the call link for the general audience to call in and share your thoughts. Everyone will get a minute, okay? So here's the thing. So Trina told production, no, we do not want to have that. We do not want to have Kevin Sr. on the show. Okay. Tawanda breaks the fourth wall and she says, OG, the showrunner. Why did you guys want to have this? OG basically just says, well, we were going to do that, but if you guys are against that, we're not going to do that. Because they're all executive producers. But I can understand why the production wanted to do that. Some people was like, oh, production only wanted to do that to cause drama. No, I think production wanted to do that. You guys are talking so much about Kevin Sr. in this episode. As storytellers, as producers, professionally, we need to tell his side. We're in Baltimore. Why not get his side? Doesn't mean that we're all going to believe it, but you're talking so much trash about this man in this episode. So let's get his side of things. And Tawanda says that man will never have a platform on our platform. Okay, why? Again, there could be a lot more to the story. I'm never going to say that there isn't more to the story on why they feel the way that they feel about Kevin Sr. And it could be because of those cheating allegations. I don't know. But why not give him, mind you, you didn't have to be in a scene with him, but why not give him an opportunity to say his side? Why not? Why not give him an opportunity to say his side? Let us judge for ourselves. You're talking so much about this man. You have this separate, remember, we don't know when that attorney scene was filmed. We don't know when that was filmed. They mention it in this scene, but we don't know when that was filmed. But you meet with this attorney just to verify and prove your point. So this man has no platform, the same exact platform that you guys. Because remember, millions of people are going to see this. He can go on his IG, he can go on another platform, he can go on a YouTube, but still not get the same amount of people that are going to watch a WeTV. I don't think it was fair. Again, you don't have to agree with him. You don't have to agree with his stance. You don't have to agree with things that he did to Traci. We don't know what happened in that marriage. But if you're going to talk so much smack about this man, if you're going to talk so much smack about him in this episode alone, making him look like a villain, oh, he wanted to go against Traci's wishes, let's hear his side. Durant, I knew you were going to say that. I knew someone was going to say that. He's like, Kempire, reach out to him to interview him. But still, my platform is not as big as the We TV platform. It doesn't equal. So give him the opportunity to tell his side. Because my thing is, if you believe that you are right and it's the truth that will speak for itself, let him speak his side. Let him speak his side. Either way, you're going to have control over the edit because you're executive producers. Let's be honest. You're going to have control over that regardless. Regardless, it's still going to be your narrative. Just keep that in mind. They're executive producers, so they're going to control whatever, even if he does film. Tawanda talking about, he's going to be on our platform. Please understand, Tawanda and Trina, y'all wouldn't have this platform if it wasn't for a Toni Braxton. It's really her platform. And she said at the top of this episode, are y'all going to speak to Kevin Sr.? I think that we should. Please understand. And the only reason why you continue to have a platform is because of Tamar and Toni. I gave the sisters grace last week. I gave them grace the first 3 episodes. But this episode just made me so uncomfortable. They were trying to build a case against Kevin Sr. I don't know the ins and outs of Traci and Kevin's relationship. None of us do. We don't know the ins and outs of Traci's relationship with her sisters. And I told you guys, give them grace. They're all grieving. But y'all are not even giving this man grace who's grieving the loss of his wife. And as people that have been through life and been through marriages, you know that marriages have their things and they have their issues. I haven't been through a marriage, but at least I know that. I'm mature enough to understand that marriages can be complicated. But do we think at the end that Traci and Kevin Sr. were still at odds? Look, wasn't Kevin Sr. there taking care of Traci in her last days? Wasn't he there when y'all weren't there? Yes, I know you guys went there, but were you there 24/7 the last year of her life? Wasn't it Kevin Sr.? I could be wrong. I'm putting it out there. I don't know. But if we heard his side, he would tell us. Look, y'all got me so emphatic this morning on a Sunday. All right, I don't even know where my callers are. Hold on. Let me see the callers. Oh, wait, let me drop this for our Team Kempire members. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. And don't forget, guys, I am on Cameo. Happy Virgo season. If you want a personal anniversary gift, a birthday gift, or you just want a message, you want me to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Book me today on Cameo. As I said, after the live, I'm going to put up a Labor Day discount, so you might want to wait, okay? My mods are going to remind me after. All right. Let me say thank you before we get into some callers. Guys, you just joined us. We're talking about the Braxtons, episode 4. Look, not every week is going to be the same. You know, the last few weeks I've been riding with the sisters. This week, I'm not riding with them. I'm not. Alicia, thank you for the super chat. Alicia says, Kev was connected to their sister, so he deserves a spot on the show. It's unfair he doesn't have the opportunity to defend himself. I agree. Like, no matter how you feel about Kevin and the decision he made in regards to a celebration of life, that is not enough reason to make him the villain in your story. That's not enough reason. The way that he's treating his son, I don't think that's great either, but he's also grieving. He's also grieving. He's probably in his feelings like, wow, why didn't she make me the executor of her estate? I mean, you might be in your feelings if your partner did that to you too. All right, Chocolate Soul, thank you so much for the super chat. And Chocolate Soul says, I want to know the tale that's never been told to Wanda. Sidebar. Didn't they preview a scene with Toni Braxton and her son at a photo shoot? I watched the episode twice. I didn't see that. And that wasn't a preview for next week. That was a bad edit. I guess they didn't have enough time. Maybe because of that last scene with Trina and Tawanda. I don't know. Why didn't we get that? Thank you, Chocolate Soul, for the super chat. We appreciate it, guys. You can also support the channel just by liking the video. Let's get to 500 likes, but I am going to drop the call-in link for the general audience in just a second. I don't even know who's backstage. Hold on. Let me pull up the backstage caller list. I could have a full stage backstage, or no one could be backstage. Ooh, look. If you are a member of the channel, we've posted the call-in link on the community tab here on YouTube for those that want to call in. All right, live chat, I'm going to drop the call-in link for you guys as well that want to share your thoughts on the latest episode of the Braxtons. If you're part of the replay crew, feel free to share your thoughts as well. Let me just drop this call-in link for the audience. And thank you to Rita again for her gifting memberships today. We appreciate the support. Thank you to anyone that sends in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. We see that after the live, so we appreciate it. Oh, Durant says Tawanda is a Virgo. Enough said. Come on. I mean, it explains a lot in regards to her personality. I mean, I completely get that. I get it. Oh, wait, I didn't see. We had a couple of comments on Twitter. Monica says, I understand all the perspectives, so there's no right or wrong since they are all processing from their own individual lenses. Agreed. Monica also says, Vaughn doesn't hear half of the stuff in the same room with his wife. Oh, you got a point. So don't think you can trust him as a gauge. He's been self-absorbed hearing himself talk. Monica, I do want to say this, though. Remember last week when Tawanda was in the car with her kids? They also said, I don't, who's Scratchy?
Lies, the lie.
Who's Scratchy? I mean, look. look. Okay, I want to point that out, all right? All right. Guys, don't forget to check out Rose Forever today. You have a referral link available in the description. Get your Rose Forever roses that will last you at least a year. They have a whole assortment of different sizes, roses, colors. They have hydrangeas. They have candles. Of course, Labor Day, they have their own sales going on. Referral links are available in the description. Shout out to Rose Forever. I love me some Rose Forever. All right, live chat. We've posted the call link for you guys. We're going to go backstage and we're going to get some calls from our members. Hold on. Let me make sure I have my timer here. Wendy's backstage. Hold on. Let me bring Wendy. Oh, wait, Wendy. I got to put up my disclaimer. Hold on. Let me put up my disclaimer. I don't need you guys getting me sued. Okay. All right. Wendy's backstage. We're going to bring her up first. Wendy, what did you want to say about the Braxtons?
Hey, Kempire. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, one, didn't they do like a celebration of life for Traci as well? That's one.
Oh, wait, didn't they? Did they?
Yes.
Can someone confirm?
They did. I think it was like on her birthday or something like that. They
yes.
Did a celebration of life. That's one. And two, when my husband passed, he told me when we got married, he wanted to be cremated. He said he didn't even want people looking over him in a casket, and he didn't want to be closer to hell. So when he passed, I asked my mother-in-law. I told my mother-in-law specifically. I said, Mama, you know he wanted to be cremated, right? She said, yes. I said, if you do not want me to cremate him, I will not. And she told me it was my decision. Sometimes we gotta, I can see both sides of the coin when it comes to this situation. But I didn't see nothing wrong with him doing a celebration of life because, like you said, it's not for the dead, it's for the living. And so I just wanted to put that nugget in. And yes, they did a celebration of life too. So I'm like, okay, I don't get what's the problem. And y'all have a blessed day.
You too. Thanks, Wendy. Wendy always keeps it short. She still has 6 seconds to go. All right, Tyler's backstage. We're gonna bring Tyler up next. Tyler, what's going on? Are y'all all y'all all calling from Tennessee? I love this. Tyler, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Okay, just making sure. Yes, I'm calling from Memphis, 901 day. But anywho, let me say this. I can relate to them because I come from a family full of siblings, and sadly, the one I can relate to the most is Tamar because I'm the baby of the family. So I kind of understand her perspective on things. But as far as the family go, I agree with you a little bit, Kempire, because when someone passes, you do honor the things that they say, but I don't think him doing a homegoing celebration or whatever was that crucial. I feel like if they're not going to discuss the real issue, don't bring him up on the show at all. That's just my opinion on it. Let's just, you all have enough drama or storyline to talk about other things than just bringing him up if you're not going to discuss, what the real issues are, because it's like you're turning it into probably what Traci would not have wanted. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're just scratching the surface. But that's all. I just don't like them mentioning it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Tyler.
You're welcome.
All right. We have a few more callers backstage. Again, if you remember the channel, we posted the call-in link on the community tab, and we just posted the call-in link in the live chat. We got a Love, Calm, Peace backstage. We're going to bring them up next. Love, Calm, Peace, what did you want to say?
Hello. So I just wanted to say, okay, with Tawanda, like, I don't know if you remember, but like even Tamar's reaction to Tawanda saying like, oh, she answers her calls, and Tamar was like, yeah, you do, because we're filming. Like, if you look at past seasons, you can see Tawanda's jealous, hateful, like everything that Traci has ever said to her. Traci called her a snake. Like, I just don't trust her. I don't care for Tawanda. And then, like, as far as her and Trina trying to say that Kevin was trying to exploit Traci's death, what are y'all doing? Because that is all y'all are discussing, and that's all y'all are discussing on the platform, and then y'all are trying to exclude him, but that was his wife. And so it's just like y'all can bash him and make this negative narrative, but y'all won't give him the opportunity, because for the producers to be unbiased and say, oh, well, we thought, that would be a good idea, like that, to me, and Tawanda's reaction is just like, okay, I understand people go through stuff in marriages and all of that, and like Trina saying, like, she was there, it does not matter. That man, even when in multiple seasons before, Traci has repetitively said, like, her husband has her back, and she can't trust her sisters. She has said that so many times. And it's just like, for y'all to be doing and acting the way that y'all are acting, it is proven every single thing that she has ever said about y'all.
All right, Love, Calm, Peace. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring up Adrian next. Adrian, hold on. Adrian, what's going on?
Babe, I'm at the house. I need you to unlock it. My fingerprint not working. Neither is the code. I got 20-something people coming today. I'm here now.
Oh, my God.
Can you unlock it from your end?
I will text you my code.
Keep your phone on you, because mine's not working and neither is the fingerprint.
Okay, hold on. Let me text you.
I've been all in the comments. I'm like, Kemp, call me.
I'm live. Hold on one second. Sorry. Hold on one second. I think it's, oh, shoot. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. We are live.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Oh, Lord. Let me see if I have this here. Hold on, y'all. And if Adrian, do me a favor, maybe pull it in and then try it. Let me just see.
Okay, that worked.
See, goodbye, Adrian. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Y'all, look. I was about to say, nah, this is what happens, y'all. All right, live show. All right, we're going to bring up Ashley Storm. Real moments when you're live, for those that didn't know that we were live. Okay. All right, we're bringing up Ashley next. Ashley, what did you want to say?
Okay, so ditto on everything that my fellow Tennesseans said, because they were right as well.
Okay.
And I just want to start with Tawanda. I'm going to talk fast, so hopefully I can get out everything I have to say. So with Tawanda, Traci called her a snake the very last season that they were on, and she was absolutely right, because she does not trust Tawanda. I don't trust Tawanda. If you look back on the past seasons of the Braxton, Tawanda has done a lot of things that have been underhanded. Even when they surprised Tamar on stage, everybody knew that Tamar was not going to like that. And if you look at Tawanda's face while she was doing it, she knew Tamar wasn't going to like that. She did it on purpose so that she could get a bad reaction, so that she could then say, see how she acts when we try to support her? That's what she did. Then on to Trina. She now has Trina being slow because Trina is a little, less, up to speed with everybody else, even though she's very intelligent. She's now saying, oh, well, no, Traci didn't say anything in her last day. She could not talk. Nobody is going to talk about that while they're dying. That man was with her till death do her part. And he always had her back. Even on the last season, he got to arguing with her sisters about her. So that's that. And then Tamar, she be wrong a lot, but all of the other ones do too. Oh. I just hope she grows and matures.
I agree. Ashley, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
We have a lot of people that follow us in Tennessee. Do I need to go to another part of Tennessee to do our next live show? Because I know it was hard for some of you to come to Nashville. But some of you drove 4 hours to come to Nashville. So shout out to those of you that did come. I appreciate that. All right. Anyways, Carolyn's backstage. We're going to bring her up next. Carolyn, what did you want to say?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Kim.
Hey.
So I'll be very quickly. Okay. But it just seems like I love Mama Evelyn. I do. But it seems like the kind of attitude and the hatred that she had towards her husband is starting to come out, and it's coming through her children, like it's coming through the girls towards Traci's husband.
Ooh.
Like it just seems like they're starting to do that cycle, and all the men in their lives, you can kind of see that part of their mother coming out. And it's very, it's very unfortunate because Kevin is just lost and he's hurt.
Yes. And
they don't understand that. They don't understand that at all, So I just hope that eventually, he'll start to understand that he's, as a man, he's going to need his father. Yeah. Who else would you need by you?
Yeah, agree.
And then nobody knows what Traci discussed when they were alone. Nobody knows that, but the husband.
And I always like to remind the audience, remember when the sisters weren't there, it was Traci, her husband, and her son. Rocking 24/7. 265 days of the year. Don't. Anyways, Carolyn, thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right, we're going to get to some more callers, guys. I will drop the caller link again for the live audience because I know you guys have strong opinions. We have quite a few people backstage that want to call in and share their thoughts, but I know a lot of you that are just joining us. We're talking about the Braxtons' latest episode. We're only on episode 4, and there's still a lot of things happening. I was like, okay, what are they going to talk about this week? Oh, Lord. All right, Sharice is backstage. We're going to bring Sharice up next. Sharice, what did you want to say?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I'm sitting outside and the smoker is going in the background. I know you hungry.
Right? I was like, the smoker's going.
All right, my bad. Okay.
What are you making? Wait. What are you making?
My dad has ribs going.
Oh, I don't really love ribs.
Yeah, they're having a little family barbecue today.
Can you make me a little something different?
I mean, sorry.
Sharice, what did you want to say about the Braxtons?
Yeah, I know we twerk on the fence over here, so just let me share my thoughts, right? Everyone keeps saying that we don't know what was said between Traci's husband, but I know I have a lot of friends in the nursing field and the medical field who say when wives get sick like that, the husband's displaced. You know what I mean? So keeping on that line, that vein, Traci's husband could have been an asshole to her in her final 6 days when she wasn't feeling well, when she wasn't at her best. You know what I mean? Which further supplemented Traci's decision to put her son in charge. I'm a mother of one also, and even if I marry or remarry, my kid has my legacy. That's my legacy.
Yeah.
I birthed that child, so I understand that. I'm not on either side. This show breaks my heart because I lost the mom, and it's just
sorry.
Watching them go through the grief, I know how it is. So it's just, I want the sisters to heal. I want little Kevin to see a grief counselor by himself. It's kind of sad to watch, but I just wanted to offer that perspective as far as Kevin Sr.
All right. Thank you, Sharice, for calling in.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Eat those ribs. But I have to preface what Sharice says by saying this. We don't know. We don't know if that's what went down when Traci was sick. And I would hate to put that out there, especially because no one has said that. No one has said that he was terrible to Traci in her last days. If they said that, then I'd be like, F Kevin. But no one's saying that. No one's saying that. Just saying. Even Kevin Jr. is not saying that. That, oh, my dad was terrible to mom in the last few days of her life. Or last few months of her life. Just want to put, I don't want to put it out there like, oh, he was. Because no one has said that, including Kevin Jr. If anything, Kevin Jr. has said there's a rift between him and his father. His father doesn't like the fact that he is the executor of this state. He feels like it's his fault. So that's what Kevin Jr. has said about his dad. He hasn't said, oh, my dad was terrible to Traci at the end. Has not said that. All right. We're going to bring up Brandy next. Brandy, what did you want to say about the Braxtons?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
Good, thank you. I just wanted to say that if they're so worried about honoring Traci's wishes, they should stop and think about how would Traci react if she could see how they're treating her husband right now, like, and vice versa. She wouldn't want him treating them bad, and the other way around. For two, Kevin Jr. is really well spoken, but something about his demeanor kind of reminds me of Mary Cosby's son.
Oh.
Just something about it. And then also, the family members that stayed in the D.C. area, they've had some tragedy. I was looking at the brother because he had lost his daughter right before Traci passed. So I was thinking about that when his son was speaking. And lastly, Tawanda and Margaret from Real Housewives of New Jersey both came on the show with those pigtails. So they probably both can't be trusted.
Brandy. All right. Thank you, Brandy, for calling.
All right.
Not the pigtails into the distrust. Oh, Lord. Is that what we're saying nowadays? All right. Guys, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're almost at 500 likes on YouTube. Shout out to everyone watching on Facebook, or everyone watching on Twitch and Twitter, and those of you watching here behind the scenes here on TikTok. Let's get to 22,000 likes. We're almost there. Keep tapping your screens. Let's get to these last couple of callers. We're talking about the Braxtons, the latest episode. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on this episode, how you would rate this episode, and everything else that we've said so far. All right, Lala's backstage. We're gonna bring Lala up next. Lala, what did you want to say?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good. So I appreciate your commentation. I actually was not watching the Braxtons until I started seeing your shorts, which made me go back and watch, because I used to watch Braxton Family Values from episode 1 all the way up. Wow. And I just feel like in every family, unfortunately, especially when you have a big family, there's always that one black sheep, right? And I believe that Traci was that. I don't believe that they intentionally made her that way, but she was the black sheep. She pretty much took the brunt of everyone's jokes, any type of negativity that was being projected. And I believe that her husband was her safe space. And one thing about me, I've been married for like almost 31 years.
Wow.
I came from a family of very strong women, okay? Any man that came on the spot or onto the scene that was an alpha male, they had a problem with. So for me, because my husband was not necessarily an alpha male, but he's one who is like a leader, and he's not going to allow, anyone to push him out of that position. My family did not care for that. Some people in my family, especially those who have been hurt by men. So I believe that, as one of the other callers said, that that the matriarch of the family, because of the pain that she endured from her husband and the level of betrayal, that energy was projected onto her daughters, who are now carrying on that same energy with any man that stands 10 toes down and says, no, I'm not going to let you push me out of my leadership role. And because Kevin was that for Traci, that is the problem that I believe that they have with him, is that he is not going to let you come and tell him what he's going to do and what he's not going to do. You're not going to have control. You know what I'm saying? I'm the head of this family. Me and my wife are together on everything. So no, you're not going to do that. And I think that that is the problem that they had. And I believe that they probably came in and thought that because Traci was their sister at the time of her death, that he would give them full reign to do what they wanted to do. And he was not having it. Yeah. And I believe ultimately that was the deal breaker for them. That's why they're so angry, is because he was not doing it. And then on top of that, I also feel like Kevin being her husband and being married to her for as long as he was, he had the right to do whatever he wanted to do as long as it was in honor and respect of his wife. Yeah. And none of them have, none of them have nothing to say. They shouldn't have had anything to say about that. They should have been there to support their nephew, regardless of their attitude or the feelings that they had towards her husband. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is I believe that Traci, because she knew the feelings and the attitudes that her sisters and her mom had towards her husband, that she made her son the executor of her estate.
To lessen the trouble and drama.
Yes, to protect him, because I feel like if he had been the executor, that it would have been a whole lot of drama and mess at this point. So I really do hope that Big Kevin sees it that way, and that little Kevin is able to also receive it that way. And at the end of the day, because there's so much bitterness and resentment there, they're never going to allow him on that platform. Yeah. They should have. Just because at the end of the day, if you're really saying that you're all about supporting your nephew, you have to put aside what your feelings are and make sure that you are putting him at the forefront. Yeah. And that at the forefront is what was needed, because at the end of the day, it was Traci, Kevin, and Lil Kevin. Yeah. So he needs his dad.
Yeah. And when you guys aren't in Baltimore, who does he have?
Exactly, his father. And so at this point, he probably feels like, well, my dad's mad because I'm the executor. He don't know who to trust, because I'm sure he's heard his mom's conversations with her husband when she talked about her sisters. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So this child, he's going through all kinds of stuff and does not have a safe place to go. And I believe that his dad is the safe place. They need to have a heart-to-heart conversation. And the sisters need to back off.
Amen. Amen. Lala, thank you so much for calling in and sharing your perspective.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye. This is why I love when the callers call in, because you guys share your own experience. And I love the example of her family in this particular situation, because I was like, ooh, this is the psychology brain going on. I'm like, oh, this is fascinating. Okay. Fascinating. Look, first of all, thank you guys for 500 likes. If you haven't already, continue to like the video. That helps build our community. That helps get this on the Explorer page. So keep liking the video. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. We're going to get to some more callers, okay? We've got Lee backstage. Lee, the Scorpio. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since we chatted last. Yes. But, okay, so I did say that I was going to watch this season. I have not. I'm backed up on shows. So I'm just, sorry. So I'm just keeping up with your recaps, which are always good. But, okay, so I'm listening, and it really seems like the family has something, maybe like resentment that they have not let go. But I really think it is so unfair for them to put out this rhetoric of Kevin Sr. and he is not able to defend himself. Maybe he can, but they're not giving him the opportunity. Maybe it'll come up later in the season. But to go on for, 2 or 3 episodes now about the same situation is not a good look for them. It's not, because although I know that they're grieving sisters, they've known Traci for all her life, and he's married into the family, there still should be some type of respect, because that is your nephew's father at the end of the day, whether they have something good or something bad going on with them. So I just really hope, one, that he can tell his story, and then two, I hope that the narrative is not just to beat down Kevin Sr.
No.
And, you know, for what he wanted for his wife at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that it's a tricky situation, but I just really hope that they're not trying to just bash this man on their platform, you know?
Yeah. Thank you so much for calling in, Lee.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. All right. I also want to mention, because I didn't mention this in the recap so far. So one of the things that Kevin Jr. says to the attorney that Trina was like, yes, and then she repeated it to Tawanda in that last scene, was she was like, well, my father doesn't understand. He married into this family. I was born into this family. So they were like, yes, yes. I get that. But you celebrating that, not saying, you know, that's still your father. At the end of the day, your namesake is your father. You also have another, part of yourself and your identity that's not just the Braxtons. I feel like the Braxton sisters are not fostering a supportive relationship between Kevin Sr. and Kevin Jr., which makes me uncomfortable, gives me pause. Also makes me want to give them the side eye. Like we get it. You don't like Kevin Sr., but Kevin Sr. is all Kevin Jr. really has at the end of the day, because you sisters aren't in Kevin Jr.'s life every single day. You don't live in Baltimore. He needs his father. He's going through his own drama right now with his estranged wife. So, okay. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Poncetta. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Poncetta?
Yep, you did an awesome job.
Awesome.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. This is my first time on the stage, so I'll try and talk fast.
Okay.
I'm a sister of, I have 5 sisters, 1 brother.
Oh.
Okay. Same mom, same dad. So we grew up in the same house together.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand when I look at these dynamics, I understand these dynamics all the way. And no matter what, how much the sisters fell out and all that kind of stuff, at the end of the day, at the end of her life, she had her sisters around her as well as her husband. So I understand the husband dynamic.
Yeah.
I think she went through her healing process to release the anger and everything that she had towards them.
Yeah.
And I think that allowed Kevin Jr. to release that anger as well. But as well as Kevin Jr. seeing things between her and her sisters, he also saw things between her and his dad. And he said several times things happened before she passed away that kind of put questions in his mind as well. And there's rumors that he does have other kids besides Kevin Jr. If you look on his Instagram, you see that. And also there's rumor there may be another child that's the same age as BK. So, which is Kevin Jr.'s son. So, and all of that, there may be some things that we're not considering. And yes, I think she put it in Kevin Jr.'s name because she knows that Kevin Jr. is her son.
Yeah.
She doesn't want it going to other people, other kids, other things like that, and he not get the full, amount that he should get.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing to consider, because Kevin Sr. does have another grandkid and a daughter and different things like that you can see on his Instagram. So I think she wanted to go to her son. Like he said, Kevin Jr. said, she always said, hey, you're my legacy. I'm going to leave it to you. Yeah. So I think that's a part of it as well.
Couldn't that be true too, even if Kevin Sr. didn't have other kids? It could be just like, that's my son. Before having my son, okay, maybe it would have been you. And by law, it probably automatically went to you without a will. But I feel like that could exist even if they had the most perfect marriage. She would have left it to her son.
Yes, I think so, because she wants that legacy to go on. They're proud of being Braxtons, and so that's another thing, and I kind of understand with death and different things like that, being proud to be, your family name, even though you're married, and trying to keep certain things within the family, even though you're married. So, because we have different heirs property, different things like that. And it's just like, okay, we don't want, husbands or spouses to have part of this. So it may sound bad, but but I understand. And so I think we should give all the parties, even Kevin Sr., the Braxton sisters, some grace, because we don't know the full stories, and all we know is what we see of this little piece on TV. So also, I think we should give them full grace.
We don't know the full story, and they're refusing for us to get Kevin's story.
Yes. Now, Kevin did go live on his Instagram. He did go live on his Instagram, yes, last night while the show was on, and Tawanda called in on their little live show, Trina show. Oh, you don't know? Let me get you.
I don't have time to get look, I don't have time to watch all the side stuff. If you're not going to put them on the show, I'm not running around trying to find the information.
Trying to find all of it. Exactly. I was getting ready to go in my South Carolina, but but Tawanda called into Trina show and was like, he's online bashing us, and she was upset about it. But anyway, so that's the rundown of that. Okay. But
thank you for that.
Yeah,
quick.
But
what did Kevin Sr. say though on his?
So he was basically saying that he think the sisters were always kind of jealous of them, and they want some of Traci's inheritance and all that, and that's why they, I guess, buddying up to Kevin Jr.
Oh.
But I mean, I'm okay, not being shady. How much inheritance did Traci?
Look,
let me back out of that because I'm being shady.
No, I don't think that's being shady. It's sort of like, how much was there to go around? But look, one person's thousands and thousands of dollars is a lot for some people, and some people have millions of dollars, and that's a lot for some people. So who knows? But I don't know what they could be fighting about. But all right.
I think it's over the image. I think more so the fight is over that he has control over her image.
Yes, Kevin Jr.
And that means that Kevin can't do some of the things he wants to, Senior can't do some of the things he wants to do. I think that has to be it.
And vice versa, because they wouldn't be able to use those last days footage of Traci without Kevin Jr.'s permission, because he's the executive of her estate.
Yes. Correct. And I think the only reason why Kevin Jr. probably has gone along with it is because that's something Traci wanted. Like she said, she wanted them to carry on the show, and he probably heard her say that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why he's gone along with it, even though I feel like it hurts him to see some of these things. I don't think he really watches the show like that from his commentary.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Pantera, for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. Seven says, I think just the royalties from the show, maybe. Yeah, and I don't know how much royalties they're getting from the Braxton family values. It may not be a lot of money, but it's still money. And God only knows how much that could be, especially with a new show. Who knows? Shanti says, people skip over that it was talked about on the show, how he would cheat on Traci all the time. She wanted her son to be good. Very possible. Very, 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 very possible. All of what you guys are saying is true, but we're only getting one side. We're getting the Braxton sisters side. We're not getting Kevin Sr. side. So we shall see. We shall see. I feel like I don't know how many more episodes are left for the Braxtons, but we will be talking about it. So if you missed the first 3 recaps of the Braxtons, be sure to check that out here on YouTube. I see we had a couple of comments on Twitter, so I do want to go back to Twitter. B Shark on Twitter says, the bigger convo is the end of life preparation. Traci had more than enough time to verbalize her no funeral change of mind to both Kevin Sr. And her sisters. I believe Traci did not change her mind. All right. They also say Kevin Sr. made the Braxtons the enemies in the media because they did not attend the funeral, yet the sisters complied to Traci's last wishes. They also said that if someone has been selected to carry out their last wishes, I think it's only respectful to follow said wishes. Yeah, it's respectful, but let me tell you something. I haven't been on the other side this lifetime, but maybe other lifetimes. Please understand, the dead do not care about their last wishes. Their human form care, and they're like, oh yeah, this is what I want. Please understand, I have my last wishes, but please understand, when I transition to the other side, I could give a rat's what y'all did with this body. I really don't care. Because I'm working on my next one. Okay? I'm working on my next one. Anyways, was there anything? Jew says, yeah, somebody say it. Them sisters don't seem straight genuine to me either, always about money. We shall see. Oh, well, that's true too. Shanti says, is a life insurance a part of the will or no? I don't know if there was life insurance. And again, they're not going to tell us those details. Kevin Sr., can you tell us those details if you want to? Was there life insurance? What money was there? I mean, I don't know if you want to get into the nitty gritty, but if we're going to get into the nitty gritty, it will give the audience a better perspective on what people might be fighting over. Well, we shall see. I don't think this will be the last time that they will be talking about Kevin Sr. and not giving him a platform to tell his side. But if you want to hear his side, apparently he's going live on his Instagram. So be sure to check that out on Instagram. If I have time, maybe I will too. Okay. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope that you guys have liked the video already. If you haven't, like it now. And if you haven't already, you can also book me on Cameo for Virgo season. I'm going to go change that so you can get a Labor Day discount. And I'm going to give you a Labor Day discount on the Kempire merch as well. All right? All right. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members, new members. Shout out to our subscribers. Shout out to those of you watching in the bushes. We appreciate you. And a shout out to those of you watching on TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and on Facebook. We appreciate you guys being here. Replay crew, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you would rate this week's episode of the Braxtons, and let me know your thoughts on everything that we said. And you will be able to take an audio version along with special episodes on the Kempire podcast. Subscribe today. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and give us a 5-star rating. I hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. Happy Sunday and happy Labor Day. Bye, y'all.
Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. Je begon aan mijn best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. But what's on my best life, yeah. But what's on my best life, yeah. But what's on my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both want my best life, yeah. Jumping, flexing, I just want you to know. Something you and me, oh. You both want my best life, yeah. You both want my best life, yeah. You both want my best life, yeah. Something you and me, oh. You both want my best life.